people who understand and come from business and look at their backgrounds. Look where they're voting. I believe elections matter, and I think it's up to all of us to spread the word on people who you believe that are advancing the jobs in the community. But it's coming together as an association. Look, I think VICA does an incredible job. I think if you look at around the state of California, the San Fernando Valley is probably the most active, one of the most active areas in the state of California in terms of being involved in the community. And I think you're doing a good job here. So I don't want to dominate the whole scenario, but I do want to bring in Don here as a local business owner, because again, it's about listening to people who are right there doing the work. Don, you mentioned our great weather. What can we do from Sacramento or local city council and government to help you? Your business is here. What needs do we need to do? What do we need to hear from you to make things better, both locally here in the community as well as in the state?
Well, I think you might have to speak to the owners, and I'm not able to speak on their behalf today. The Hundred family owns the business. They could clearly state some of the obstacles that they face in running a business. From my perspective, I would just say step out of the way and let us do our work. REM, like many businesses, struggled at the end of 2008, had a dismal 2009, and for some strange reason, a lot of the things that we've been working on, our marketing plans, our brand portfolio, really started to come together. Our sales are up 20% this year. So I don't know what help we need. The owners would probably say less taxes, less bureaucracy involved in the business. But from my perspective is just let us do what we need to do, and we'll continue to be profitable. And we employ 100 people in our Sun Valley location. There's 400 family members counting on REM to continue to succeed and to be prosperous.
Councilman. Mayor.
That is a great question, and every one of those issues we deal with every day, every time we talk to new business. But one of the things that we've kind of focused in on is Sugar Land particularly is we spend a lot of time on visioning and planning. We do, matter of fact, I've got a council retreat coming up next week. We do a 1-year, 3-year, and 5-year work plan. And then we actually have some community summits, and I bring in quite a few of the business leaders. And we go over that plan with them, and we try to see what their vision is for our community. We kind of make them feel like they're part of the process. And, and now you have your normal residents. You always hear the issue of traffic. What we say, NIMBY, not my backyard, build it. But then we're also very sensitive to the type businesses we bring in. Sugar Land, we cater a lot to the corporate community. We cater a lot to small manufacturing, so we don't really get into some of those industries that I guess the community would feel somewhat egregious to the community. But the biggest issue I deal with every day is traffic. Traffic. That's one thing that will always come up in every new plan is traffic. So, but we I guess in a simple, you asked a complex question, but the simplest form is we do a lot of community summits, and we get the residents and we bring the HOAs, the homeowner associations in, and particularly the major business leaders, and make them feel like they're part of the process. And it seems like it mitigates a lot of those issues, even though they still come up time to time, certainly.
Mayor, if I could follow up on the traffic issue, I know this from the city of Houston, at least some of the people I've talked to, that they had a huge traffic problem in Houston, and they alleviated a lot of that traffic based on privatizing certain tow truck companies to adopt a 7 or 10 mile radius, and they get them off the freeway as fast as possible if they're not, if they're not death-related accidents. And I heard that your traffic dropped dramatically after implementing that program. Can you explain a little bit? Do you know a little bit about that program?
It's really a Houston program, and the former mayor, Bill White, initiated that. It was extremely controversial. Basically, it was a fast tow program, just exactly what you said. And we came in from the airport last night, and the guy said it was 16 miles, but it was an hour and a half drive or something like that. And what causes the biggest jam typically is the red lights going off and the police or the sirens. So what he initiated is anybody you have, as you say, a non-life threatening or a flat tire, whatever, they have a tow company has a certain area of responsibility, and I think they bid upon that, and they pull them off the freeway, and it has increased the traffic flow tremendously. We're dealing with a major freeway that comes through the city of Sugar Land called the Southwest Freeway. It comes from downtown Houston, goes down the coast to Corpus Christi, Victoria, and ultimately Mexico. And we deal with that same issue, but we don't have the same problem as that because we're not in inner city. So it's passing through our city instead of circumventing or going in a circumference. So we don't have a problem, but it's been a very, very popular program. So.
That's correct, yes. Well, the heart of eyeglass manufacturing, when I started in the business, was on the East Coast. All of the manufacturing of eyeglasses was done by companies called Univis, Xyloware. Some of these companies are still in business. But the technology that advanced over the years was not developing here in the United States. Technology was developing in Germany and France and Italy, which is where a lot of production shifted when those companies in the United States really couldn't figure out how to make better eyeglasses, how to make them more attractive. But of course it's costs. And so our product is made throughout Asia, and our costs have gone up about 40% over, the landed costs have gone up over 40% in the last 3 years because in China, where most of our product is made, the middle class is the class that is growing. And so those folks are enjoying better working conditions, and their wages are going up. What would it take to bring it back here? I would say probably a near miracle. From what I understand, the labor unions in the East back in the 70s and then into the beginning of the 80s became so stubborn in terms of what they wanted for their workforce that people started to say, we can't make eyeglasses here anymore. And so it moved offshore. Our solar panels, by the way, were made in China and brought over here. So, yes, it's not likely. It is about making a profit, and the profits are already pretty slim.